Hi everybody, this is the back part of the figure, and it's part of the process that I have lost in the corrupted data of the hard drive. We are lucky because this is only the back part of the process and is maybe the less interesting one. The first part is to paint the tube, and when we are painting a tube like this, my tip or my advice is first paint it in a base layer and then to make the yellow stripes, but instead of using pure yellow, because the yellow will need more layers to cover, use a tertiary color related with the yellow. In this case you can use an ochre to make these lines, and we make the yellow lines. Try to make them in the same size and in the dark parts. I recommend you to make a thin line first and then to expand till you have the same size in both sides. Because if you make first this shape, the entire width of the or size of the stripe, maybe you are being too big, like in this one, or you need more black and you have to correct later again, so you waste times. Obviously it doesn't matter because you can fix it, but as always I'm trying to show you the more efficient way to make something. Then you can start to add lights. In this case it will be more rough, but try to imagine that this is a cylinder, so you have one layer here with a more brighter color, and you can add more layers. The final one could be a bright in the middle. Add as many layers as you need, but I think that with 2 or 3 colors it's enough. Same thing with the black. The black I choose a mix of dark sea blue, if I'm not wrong, greenish bluish tone, so it's the same. Add a first layer and then another a bit more luminous, but following the same line of light that in the yellow parts. Okay, and after that you can hide your errors, maybe by adding some cuts or scratches, small dots or whatever that make your brain to feel that the yellow is more correct than it really is. You can even add rust in some parts of the tube, like if it is I don't know, from something metallic. Even I didn't add it in the figure, but if you see, I can add with Photoshop and you will see that it's something that feels that is good. Okay, now the school of the freehand, which is something very stupid in some way. This is the tabard. And how do you have to make the school? The first tip is look in internet and find a reference to copy. I usually look for schools or whatever to make something more easy to me or more realistic. Okay, so find your reference and then apply in the area where you are going to paint. In this case, the tabard. So the first is draw the shape, and you could be in this stage very rough, and now fill the inside part. I prefer to use a grayish tone instead of a white tone because it covers in a single layer, and because the background is black, it's easy in this stage to correct the shape of the skull in this case. I prefer to do it now instead of later, because later I will add more layers of color, and now I'm just playing with 2 colors, black and gray, so it's easier for me to correct this kind of failures just by placing the background color, the black. This is a horrible school, but I think you are in understanding the process. Now it's time you to choose a more luminous gray and start adding the different layers of color following the volumes of the tabard, the clothes. Well, remember that if you like what I'm doing, you can support me by subscribing to the YouTube channel and giving me a thumbs up in the video if you like it, but also by subscribing to the Patreon. For only €3 per month, you will receive exclusive videos about different topics like fundamentals of painting, different techniques, exclusive processes, and you will be updated with my latest works, step-by-step pictures of my current works. You can ask me any doubt, of course, in the Patreon, also in the YouTube as well, and you will receive exclusive discounts on different shops. So I think it's worthly for you for only those €3, and you will help me a lot to still continue creating content in the different media formats, and help me to grow even more this community that we are creating around this project. Leave you with the video. Thank you for watching, and bye bye. And for example, if we have this cloth with some wrinkles that are more luminous in this area, and this one, for example, obviously this area is going to have more luminosity, and this middle one that is in the shadow part of the wrinkle will be darker. Okay, and as you see, it's more or less what I'm doing here. In the piece I have a line which is more dark, which is this one, and this part of the skull is darker, but this other part are more luminous because it is part of this wrinkle, what is it's more it has more light than the other one. Okay, this symbol, I'm using the same gold that I have used before, and because the main view is lateralized to one side, I'm trying to focus more on this part of the eagle, the bright in this extreme, and I move all the lights to this side. You can make different brights in every feather, or consider every feather like one plane, and not to, and it's no need to make complex interpretation of the metal here, because it's not a very important element. Try to define from the beginning this small element that is the skull, and look how the other side of the wings have the light in its left part, not in the screen like the others, because if I do that, it's like a symmetrical light, but I want to move the light to one side because the main view is, as I said, coming from the side. In the skull is it's a bigger area, so I can make some reflections like the chrome ones on the fist, but don't waste too much time here, in my opinion. And now with a bit of dark brown, I can add some shadows, extra shadows in the element. This is my condition of work with Belzebub lying in my table, punching my colors. I wanted to show you my painting partner. Well, in this stage we have finished more or less the front part of the figure, and I need to put the ground to see the overall look. I combined two different textures from Game Workshop. One is the Iron Crust. I think Iron Earth is the other one, but I always confuse both of them. But Iron Crust and Iron Earth are combined here in the base to obtain two different textures. We're going to paint now the flower of the ground with these two colors, purple, and by adding only the magenta from Chimera models, I'm painting only the outer parts of every leaf. And now with a bit of white to the mixture, maybe other magenta no, so maybe for another magenta you do need to add a pink. I add some texture, and now with a very nuclear green, which is I don't know how to call it, Bailey's green, I think, or I don't know how is the name. I add these shapes in the leaves. And now with pigments, I take this pigment from scale 75, this sienna pigment, and we apply it over the surface because I want to make this look more desert. Then with water I create this mood effect, so it is mixing with the previous texture, and when it dries, or when it becomes dry, we are going to apply dry pigments over the surface once again to give it a more dusty looking. Well, this is the figure finish. I think it's a very beautiful figure with a different scheme, and maybe in the future I will paint something of this style.